Wake up, Patriots. I see people in the live chat. The excitement is building. And people are wondering, where's Ed? Why won't he turn on? And someone just said, oh, he waits as a certain number of people in the chat. It's actually not that wrong. Got to build some interest. We try to get it going early. Give people a chance to get their cup of coffee, get them ready, get them in position so they could be ready for the great Andrew Phipps, who should be here in a few moments. We'll talk to a doctor at the Wellness Company as well. It's a busy news day. Don't miss us tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern on Newsmax 2. We will have the former president of the United States, Donald J. Trump, roughly 6 o'clock. He's always a little bit fashionably late, if you will. But this is going to be a big deal. This is in the South Bronx, a rally that they put in a permit for, 3,500 to 5,000 people in this park in the South Bronx. And Newsmax, Fox, others have been sending camera crews there for a few days. And all the people there are saying, we want him. We need to see Donald Trump. We want Donald Trump back in office. I saw Rachel Campos Duffy, who used to work with on Fox and Friends. She was saying this morning, she interviewed a whole bunch of people, and every person except for one person said, we welcome him. We want him here. And there was one person who thought, I don't want Trump. But, and that happens when you're out there. And she said, I expected it to be like 50-50. There's going to be excitement, but then there's going to be a bunch of people who are Democrat. No. She said that there's a lot of people, and that's been our experience at Newsmax. One of my colleagues, Mike Carter, will be live there tonight. He was saying that the vast majority of Black and Hispanic voters in the South Bronx are saying the Democrats never come up here. I mean, think about, I believe AOC's district is nearby the South Bronx. It's sort of Bronx, Queens. She's near where the remarks from the former president will be, so not the exact district, but right there on the border. And remember some months ago when this actually is probably dating myself more than a year ago, that Amazon was going to bring some headquarters into Queens, into AOC's district. And she was one of the socialists basically saying, no, we don't want more commerce here. We don't want more jobs somehow. And it was very controversial. And there were a lot of people in her district saying, we never see this woman. She goes on TV. She makes a spectacle. But we don't see her out here actually taking care of her constituents. And in that case, her constituents wanted more jobs, more economic activity. Imagine that. That's what a lot of people want. And when Mike Carter from Newsmax interviewed a lot of these folks on the streets of the South Bronx yesterday, they were saying, I had more money in my pocket under Donald Trump. There was this one Black gentleman who said that basically, he said, I see all of these illegals coming in, I'm paraphrasing, and they get all these benefits. And people like me who've been here, we don't get that. And you hear this all the time. And Donald Trump was right. Karen and I said that at the beginning of this adventure. Trump was right. He was right about illegal immigration. He was right about the unfairness and how many politicians, not just Democrats, but some Republicans, Rhino Republicans, have not been putting America first. You know who kind of coined America first, or make America great again? I think the first person to utter that was Ronald Reagan, and the second was Bill Clinton in terms of modern politics, even before Donald Trump. And so now they say it's racist. Well, Bill Clinton actually used it, I think, in his announcement speech when he announced for president in the 92 campaign, we need to make America great again. They didn't call Bill Clinton a racist. And I don't think some knuckleheads would have, but the vast majority would say this man, Ronald Reagan, was not a racist. And Roger Stone, my friend, posted this. The last Republican candidate for president to campaign in the South Bronx, Ronald Reagan. I was there, Roger Stone says. He won. Hashtag Trump 2024. And you think about it, that image. And I understand that there were some people maybe booing or heckling Ronald Reagan, and he pushed back. I mean, you've seen some of these videos, by the way, recently resurfacing from out in California when Ronald Reagan, and it was like a Republican state. Imagine that. Now the Democrats have decimated California. And Ronald Reagan was governor, and there were some student protests, I guess, over Vietnam. And he was someone who was just firm and to the point that, of course, there's a First Amendment, but you don't have a right to be violent. You don't have a right to desecrate the flag and try and destroy this country from within. And Ronald Reagan's words in the 60s as governor still resonate today. And you want to see more politicians with guts like that. And Ronald Reagan went into the South Bronx, as Roger Stone points out, and won New York, as I recall. I know, obviously, he won in '84 because he won 49 states, all but Minnesota, which was Mondale's home, of course. But I believe he won New York in '80 as well. And this was when New York, New Jersey, they were sort of swing states. They could go either way. Now they've become Democrat states, blue states that have been decimated by Democrat policies, blue policies. And if you think about what set the stage for the South Bronx, and we'll hear from Andrew Phipps in just a moment, it was that rally in New Jersey. We had Sean Lucas and Ralph and Chuck on. Chuck was there. Sean Lucas was there on the beach in Jersey, the Jersey Shore. What was it, 2, 3 Saturdays ago? 100,000 people. And think about it. The Democrat governor of New Jersey, Phil Murphy, barely won in, what was it, November 2021. It was an off-year election. New Jersey does the off-year like Virginia does. And it was interesting because you went to bed and Phil Murphy was down by a half a point or a point. And then there were a bunch of Democrat counties in North Jersey that found a lot of ballots. I don't know. I don't know how they do that. They just always seem to do that. And the great Sean Lucas will say, wonder what happened there. But my point is, even if it was fair and square, and Phil Murphy won, he won by what, a point and a half? Don't have the numbers in front of me, but it was tight. And that was 2021. What's happened since 2021? Well, the inflation that Phil Murphy and Joe Biden said in Jersey, well, it's going to be transitory. They lied about it. I'm going to have some stats for you with Andrew Phipps in a moment of what a McDonald's burger, what the fries are. We had Paul Stone on yesterday. Check him out at the Colonial Metals Group. They've got the phone number down there. He said, you need a bridge right now because Biden's decimated the dollar. The debt is out of control. Your dollar is worth about 3 cents right now with Biden inflation. And, a hamburger's up 120% from where it was under Donald Trump. And so Phil Murphy in New Jersey said, hey, it's going to get better. Hey, Joe Biden, follow him. And you're not, to go back and put this up. I don't have that. I've got my notes up there. Where is that picture of Ronald Reagan? Here he is. Wasn't it Reagan who said, are you better off than you were 4 years ago in 1980? And the answer was resoundingly no. And so he wins in 80. He wins in 84 in an absolute landslide. Realigns the country, realigns American politics. And I think that's the simple equation for Donald Trump now. And that's why he's going to places like the South Bronx. Why wouldn't people in New York, why wouldn't people in New Jersey try something different and say, you know what? We've had these Democrat policies. I'm on Instagram this morning. This guy, Wayne Diamond, crazy liberal. I've talked to the guy before. He used to be in the fashion industry. Some of my friends in that industry know him. He was a crazy partier in the 80s and 90s. He'll tell you, crazy. He's got wild hair and all these things. I'll try to find him. And he's as liberal as they come. I've talked to him, and he said, oh, I like your stuff, but why do you like Trump? I hate Trump. He's this old dude in New York, and he parties hard, and he goes to all these great restaurants on the Upper East Side, and he's always like, why do you like Trump? He's like, I can't stand Trump. And what's amazing is that he went on Instagram this morning and said he wants to run for mayor and take out Eric Adams, the Democrat. Obviously, Wayne Diamond's a big Democrat. And you say, what's the problem, Wayne? And he says, you can't even walk around the city anymore. That's literally how he talks, that there's so much crime, so much dirt and decay. And yeah, here he is. This is Wayne. He's got crazy hair, and he walks around in these T-shirts. And in this video, he says, "I'm throwing my hat in." I think he says he's got 50,000 signatures to run for mayor in New York City. And he says, Eric Adams, there's crime, there's homeless, the streets are terrible. And this is the same guy who tells me that Donald Trump is horrible. And why would I even say anything positive about Donald Trump? Donald Trump's the kind of guy who would actually turn it around. This man has just blindly followed Democrats and Democrat policies for years, for decades. And now he wants to run for mayor on a platform of change. I don't even know if he has any chance. Wish him well. Nice guy when I talked to him off the air. But why is it that these folks are so blind to the reason why their cities, he's like, I love New York. It's awful now. Why is that? It's because people have voted Democrat now for years and years, generations practically. And nothing's changed. If anything, it's changed to the negative, like we've seen in LA, San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose, Sacramento. You can name multiple cities in California. And then look at New York, Philly, Baltimore, Newark. Go over there to New Jersey. It's insane. We'll hear from Andrew in just a minute. In the meantime, let's hit Jesus Calling, May 23rd. Approach each new day with desire to find me. Before you get out of bed, I've already been working to prepare the path that will get you through this day. There are hidden treasures strategically placed along the way. Some of the treasures are trials designed to shake you free from earth shackles. Others are blessings that reveal my presence, sunshine flowers, birds, friendships, answered prayer. I have not abandoned this sin-racked world. I am still richly present in it. Search for deep treasure as you go through this day. You will find me along the way. This is inspired in part by Isaiah 33:6. And he will be the stability of your times, abundance of salvation will acknowledge the fear of the Lord is Zion's treasure. So a great way to start this day. I want to let you know that Monday, Memorial Day, I'll be filling in for Eric Bowling, Newsmax Cable, prime time. So Monday night at 8. So we won't have a pod on Friday, tomorrow, and Monday. Everyone's going to be traveling, including me doing some travel. And so Friday, Monday, nothing. We'll be back Tuesday. Tony Schaefer will be here Tuesday doing the show. As I said, starting next week, we're going to have a bunch of rotating people, some great surprises for you, including our friend Andrew Phipps sooner or later. And I will tell you, so Monday night, you're going to need the Patriots to turn out 8 p.m. Eastern. And join us there on Newsmax Cable. Later this hour, we'll hear from a doctor at the wellness company. Don't forget about twc.health/wake up. And don't forget about your earpiece, because I want to be able to hear Andrew in a minute so that I know that everything he has to say is loud and clear and ready to go, because he's a man with a plan. Andrew, how you doing? Good morning, sir. Andrew, are you all together there? Because I can't hear right now. Maybe there's something wrong with my piece. Let me see. Are you muted? Okay.
Now,
There you are. Okay, yeah, no, I couldn't hear you, and I thought maybe it was my fault. Okay, there you are. So, Andrew, good morning.
Good morning, Ed. Thank you for having me on Wake Up Patriots. I always look forward to being with you.
We love it. Where can people find you? You're doing this evening podcast. I'm going to try to join you next week. What you've gotten involved with the network, and you guys are going large. What are you doing?
Well, it's I don't know a whole lot about it. I did the second podcast last Tuesday night. It's called BBS Radio TV, and I'm told, this is what I'm told, that it's the largest podcast on the planet. And the folks reached out to me. I didn't know anything about it, and they were kind and asked if I would consider hosting a program. And so at 9:05 Eastern Time, 9:05 Eastern Standard Time, we have the Phipps Faith, Family, Freedom podcast, and I'm hoping that you get to be with me this coming
next
Tuesday
week would be great
if your schedule allows it.
Yeah, this week should be great. I know I'm traveling Tuesday, but I should be in a place where I should be able to do it Tuesday night, because I think I'm flying Tuesday during the day. So, Andrew, let me tell me what you think about this incredible photo I was talking about before. Roger Stone posted this because he was there, I think, in the 1980 campaign, and the first one. And then Reagan wins New York in 80 and 84. He went to the South Bronx. I'll put up that photo. And now Donald Trump is going to South Bronx tonight. What are your thoughts about Donald Trump on offense, just like Ronald Reagan was?
Oh, I think it's wonderful. Well, when we remember, or we can go back, Richard Nixon did quite well with the numbers in the minority community. If I recall, I think I'm in the ballpark. I believe he got up to maybe 30-some% of the vote. I think this is a bold move by President Trump, and I think the people there that are in the Bronx, I've been privileged to go there several times, New York City and the area, and I think that it's just wonderful, because I think, Ed, that people in general are seeing through the smoke screen. They see for themselves. Tuesday I did some television taping, and I stopped I thought I'd get a bowl of soup there in the area. Nice restaurant. I mean, it's not maybe 5-star or whatever, but I was going to get a bowl of soup, and I went in, and they said, "Well, you're going to be on a wait."
A bowl of soup. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it was that chili, chicken chili soup. It's delicious, Ed. It has a little, it has a little kick to it, but it's wonderful. And I was on a waiting list. Now, I could have waited, but here's what got my attention. The lady at the reception area said, we only have one server. one server, and it's a nice
Hmm.
place to go to. And I'm thinking to myself, what's wrong in America? We go to maybe get a little sandwich or something somewhere, and I'm not knocking the proprietors. I'm sure they're having to do everything they can do to stay afloat, but just any little simple meal like a fast drive-through place, and you're talking about maybe $15 to $20 time you
Yeah.
add a gratuity. So Ed, I just think that people surely are coming to their senses and realizing that just like the White House spokesperson there was trying to put a good face on the border, well, I think people are beginning to see for
Yeah.
themselves that, look, you can tell me all day that it's not happening, but when we see with our own eyes and we experience it, then that's a great teacher in and of itself.
You're right. I love to hear about the bowl of soup. We always love to know what you're up to because you get the beanie weenies and all the rest of it, and that's made the show super fun. I'm going to get to a list, and maybe I'll jump ahead in my notes because I've got a list of fast food and what the prices are under Bidenflation compared to Trump lack of inflation, I guess you would call it, because you can't call it Trumpflation. So I've got those numbers. So I'm going to jump ahead to that in a minute. But as you were talking, I saw that on X, Yankee Stadium was trending. And I thought, well, maybe it's near the rally tonight in the South Bronx. But I find out, wait a second. The rally started last night. My Yankees were playing. And as you see, some Trump fans got in there, and it looks like it was during the national anthem, and people are mostly rising. And hand on heart, hat is off. And look at that. Never surrender. Somebody rolled out a big flag with Donald Trump's mugshot. That's the image that has sort of galvanized a lot of people that the liberal lawfare has backfired. But the idea, again, this is happening at Yankee Stadium in the South Bronx last night. I have people in the live chat, Gladstone and others, saying, "Tell Ed that New Jersey's, going red. That maybe New York's going red." What do you think of these images that are emerging? I can't even imagine the image tonight. They say 3,500 to 5,000 people is the permit in this park in the South Bronx. I bet the Trump people are going to get a whole lot more people out there. But the idea that somebody rolls out "Never surrender" with Donald Trump's mugshot at Yankee Stadium last night, what do you think?
Well, I think people are beginning to see the seriousness of where we are. That if we want to have a country, if we want to have a country that has defined borders, if we
Mm-hmm.
want to have a country where people just don't do things for political opportunism, that's what Joe Biden is doing. The man would endorse, he will say or do anything if he thinks that
Mm-hmm.
it would enhance his political position. He has no core values that he runs by. Nothing is sacred to him. So I think the people there, and I'm like you, I think that the Bronx thing could be much, much bigger than anybody has thought about.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw the rally there where President Trump brought in maybe between 80 and 100,000 people, who in the world besides Donald J. Trump can do that, Ed?
Yeah, I agree with you. It's really remarkable. But let's jump ahead to Bidenflation. Because part of the reason why my colleague at the top, I was saying, Mike Carter at Newsmax, has done a great job. He does a lot of these man on the street interviews in New York, in particular, where he's based, but he goes around the country. And he was in South Bronx yesterday. And a lot of black and Hispanic voters are basically telling him, I had more money in my pocket when Donald Trump was in office. And that's why I think we keep hearing these polls, well, black voters are going this way, young voters are going this way. It's not black or white, it's green. It's about the money in your pocket, the kitchen table issues we always talk about. And the Democrats have tried to paint themselves as the working class voter's friend, and they haven't been. And look at this. Travis is a Trump supporter who posts on X. And he noticed this, and this is how the mainstream media works. Business Insider, which is a mainstream publication, posts this story on April 2nd, I guess it was last month. My family of four ate at Olive Garden for the first time, and our $150 meal felt like an excellent value, they say. And what Travis's point was, is they're going to try in the media to make inflation cool because they'll never admit they were wrong about Joe, he said. Because if you think about that, $150 for a family four is a lot of money. And they're trying to say, hey, it's kind of cool. We went to the Olive Garden. It's not so bad. $150 for a family four, my friend, is a lot of money. And they're trying to pretend that don't pay attention to what Joe's done to the economy. Don't pay. It's really cool to spend $150. It's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money, Ed. And I heard a fellow say the other day that it had gotten so poor around where he lived that his wife was now just reading to them the recipe. And he said he had a family member that couldn't hear too good and said he was about to starve to death. Now, aside from all of that, Ed, seriously, these are issues. No family should have to pay that kind of money. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and when we have inflation, it's an unseen tax. It's a tax that doesn't increase the size of the McDonald's or the volume of the Coke. It simply means you're paying more money. And most people may not understand Keynesian economics or Thomas Sowell or Milton Friedman, but they know one thing. They know $150 means that they probably will not be eating at the Olive Garden for a while. I love the Olive Garden, but you know, we all have to take a look at our expenditures and the bread and butter issues, Ed. Those are the things with which every family deals. And it's unfortunate, Ed, when people, moms and dads with little families, little children, have to make decisions about, you know, how much sloppy joe do we fix tonight?
Yeah.
Do we have extra hamburgers? Do we put pickles on the hamburgers? Or what kind of a bun do we get? And those are things that could almost make you cry when you see the squalor. And Ed, we have it around the country. Now, thankfully, we have some social agencies and many churches pick up the slack as best they can with
Yeah.
soup kitchens and food. I know at our church, every Saturday, no, excuse me, one Saturday a month, this coming
Yeah.
Saturday, men will go to the Muncie Mission and they
Mm-hmm.
will serve a delicious breakfast there to the people there. I go myself when I'm available. I like to go and meet the people. A lot of the people are so gracious, that kind, that we would come and give them a good breakfast. Ed, I think when I see the goodness of America, we have some good people, decent
Mm-hmm.
people, people that like integrity, people that just want to raise their families. They don't want all of this hullabaloo that's going on. But Ed, the economy, it is the economy, stupid, and people are going to rise to the occasion. And I think they're going to vote their pocketbooks. They know things are not going well.
Yeah. Well, and I've got people responding to what you're talking about. T. Augie, Olive Garden prices are ridiculous right now. Denise, 15, too much money. Lunch for four, she said recently, was over $100. Not sure where that was. Sean Lucas, our friend, Red Lobster's out of business. I know they've been closing. You know, and this was a place where people used to be able to go get a good meal, family, all of that. But you said bread and butter issues. I'm going to get to McDonald's in a minute, but bread and butter issues. What is it you like about the Olive Garden? Because some people in the live chat are saying, look, they've spent time in Italy and they would never get caught dead in an Olive Garden because it's like a fast food Italian. So we'll have some fun with that. But people love the breadsticks there.
And I tell you what is good. Now, we'll have to remember this. I order the lasagna, the breadsticks, and then they have a soup there that has like potatoes and the some kind of like a Polish sausage or something. It's
Okay.
delicious. Now my wife will order the salad and sometimes and get whatever meal she wants, but I'm more of a lasagna type person, and I like that.
Okay.
I like that soup. I usually get Ed 2 bowls of the soup because, but now it's been a while since I've been to Olive Garden. I was there maybe a month or so ago, and Ed, I tell you, each one of us, I know I have to consider meals, and like this coming tomorrow, I'm leaving for Norwood, Missouri. Going to be at some meetings for the
Mhm.
entire weekend. Well, when you go through the airport and you want a Jersey Mike sub or whatever, or if you have to get a water, it's almost like somebody held a gun to you, Ed. And the prices are just they're, they're out of they're
Well,
out of reach. And
I remember
I can
Karen and I were
sympathize.
traveling. Pardon me, Karen and I were traveling. I think through the Atlanta airport some time ago for a Trump rally, and I remember it was the worst I'd ever seen for water. Water, they really nail you. To your point, they put a gun to your head at the airports because you got no other option. And I no exaggeration. It cost $15 for a water. It was a larger than your normal Dasani,
Yeah.
but it was a little bit taller, and it was $15. And the last place I worked for paid for it, so
Yeah,
I
and
didn't have
it
to pay
should,
for it.
a water that costs $15 should have been able to provide you with a shower while you were there. But it's unfortunate, and my heart bleeds for just, I'm just a common kind of guy. Seriously, I
Yeah,
don't have any big tags or whatever. I identify with a person that has to make a living and trying to raise their children, and maybe many of them go into factories and other places, and they put in their labor. They want to have a decent job and provide. And but I tell you, Ed, it's discouraging to people
yeah,
that want to do the right thing and see people like Joe Biden that obviously has no set of standards, that is, from a moral compass. He doesn't regard the Constitution. He could care less. How seriously, a guy that now wants to spend trillions of dollars, perhaps, for student debt. At least it's in the billions.
that's
And
right.
people are wondering why would somebody go to college and get a degree in the philosophy of the Hindu religion and come out and not be able to get a job. A good friend of mine that just ran for Congress, he has in his company a place where they're training kids to learn skills like the old trade schools that used to be in our high school. And so we've got to educate, Ed. We've got to tell people, and I think people are coming to it. I really do. I'm
There you go.
optimistic, thinking that people are going to come to their senses.
All right, real quick. I think you're right, and we'll get a preview of that tonight. Newsmax 2, 6 p.m. Eastern, with Donald J. Trump, big rally in the South Bronx to see whether he can start to turn New York blue. And people are skeptical of that. Biden carried New York by 20 some odd points last time. But the New York Times, of all people, the New York Times, no friend of Donald Trump, has a poll from about a week ago. New York Times, Siena College has Donald Trump trailing in New York by about 9 points, Andrew. So that's pretty darn close. Now he does a rally, he gets some attention. We'll see where those polls are in a couple of weeks. By the way, while you were talking, I was on the search engine, and there's multiple Olive Gardens around Milwaukee, including in Greenfield, Wisconsin. So if you do go to the Republican convention where I'll be in July, I will take you to lunch at the Olive Garden, and we'll do a
Oh
live show
my,
or something. But that'll be
my,
fun.
that's going to be fantastic,
All
Ed.
right, you
And
better get your butt there, and we'll figure it out real quick now, because I got a couple other guests waiting patiently, and we'll keep this moving. This is a McDonald's menu that Sam Lerner posted. He said this was at a rest stop. These McDonald's prices are nuts, right? And if you go through a McCrispy, now it's a meal, so I want to be fair. It's with fries and a soda, but I still don't think it's doable for most families. $17.99, my friend, for a chicken sandwich with presumably fries and a Coke. And then the chicken nuggets. This is something that's really interesting. 10-piece chicken McNuggets. You think about that with families. I mean, that's all my kids would want if we go to McDonald's Nuggets and they pick their sauce and all the, not the healthiest option, but kids are going to get what they're going to get.
right, sure.
And you got a family with a few kids, 10-piece chicken nuggets, again with fries and a drink, but that ain't that much. $18.29 at this rest stop. Two cheeseburgers as a meal, fries and a Coke. Two cheeseburgers. These are the small ones, not the Big Macs.
Right.
$16.99, $17 for two cheeseburgers, fries, and a Coke.
Well, Ed, that's what I'm talking about. Mr. and Mrs. America, the people that just live on A Street in B City, just good, decent people that want to do good for their families, that want to take care of their little ones. Again, it could just about bring tears to your eyes when you think about the situation that Joe Biden has brought us to here in this country. And he's responsible. They can deny it. They can say, they can try to be evasive. They can try to obfuscate the data, but I'm serious, Ed. This man has almost single handedly ruined our nation. I mean, we're in about every category that you could think about. It's hard to name a category that we're not worse off than we were when the man took office. And that's been his pattern. Of course, that's his pattern for all the years that he's been at public service. That's all he knows. And unfortunately, he's never been used to writing a check on the front side for anything that he had to do himself as an employer. He's always been the recipient. He's been at the trough of the of no term limits, and obviously one day, I don't know when it'll be, but I believe that when the history is finally written in a good form, we'll find out that the depravity and the lengths to which he took to destroy America for personal gain. He and his family, I don't know how to say it, but whether it's James Biden, Hunter Biden,
Yeah.
Joseph R. Biden Jr., it'll be a trail that I think that we'll look back at, and I think the Harding administration will pale in comparison to it.
You may be right, because before you go, I want to ask you about this. Hunter Biden, you just mentioned James Biden, Hunter Biden, the family. Breaking late yesterday, the House Ways and Means Committee has evidence that Hunter Biden lied to Congress 3 different times during his recent testimony back in February. Remember, this was the private deposition. Initially, he snubbed Congress. They said, okay, we're going to do what we did with Bannon and Peter Navarro, who's sitting in a federal prison in Miami as we speak, which is outrageous, for not cooperating with the J6 committee. They said, well, you don't cooperate, Hunter Biden, we're going to send you to jail. So he finally testified. Now they're going through that and comparing it with documents they have, and they found at least 3 lies under oath, which could be prosecutable. On top of that, Andrew, he has Hunter a trial in Delaware in June coming up, June 3rd, I think it starts, on gun charges. And then he had another trial in Los Angeles scheduled for later in June. And they said, oh, we can't prepare for 2 trials at once, so we want to delay it. The judge in California yesterday, Andrew, said, okay, we'll delay the tax trial. He didn't pay his taxes, over $1 million. Most of us would be in prison already. Not most of us, pretty much all of us. And now they're saying, okay, we'll delay the trial on tax charges, Andrew, to September, which I don't think the president and the White House could be happy with, because that means Hunter Biden will face 2 trials before the election, including one in September, maybe right before the second presidential debate, and maybe right before the election. Do you think the family's finally going to be held accountable? Last question to you.
Well, I would like to think that they will be held accountable. I don't know. I guess sometimes my hopes for justice and the hopes that people can be governed by the rule of law, I think sometimes we get a little bit scareful of that due to the fact that the Bidens have escaped so long. But I think a day of reckoning could be coming. I think that the American people will put enough pressure through their congressional representatives like James Comer and others there. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping, Ed, that justice will be served, because I really believe there is a trail behind those people that smells to the high heavens. I think those people have done enough to enhance and take advantage and miscarriage of justice. Call it whatever you will. They are basically, we would classify them as very much the scum of the earth.
All right. Well, strong words from you, Andrew. You're going to be able to talk about that on your podcast next Tuesday night. Hope to join you. Have a great Memorial Day weekend, and we'll be in touch and have you on the shows in the days ahead, my friend.
God bless. Thanks.
All right, take care. Always great to check in with the great Andrew Phipps. We appreciate him every single week, and he'll be certainly a part of a lot of what we're doing. We're talking about Biden inflation. Done with Debt is one of our great sponsors. Check them out, donewithdebt.com. Promo code VNN, and they'll give you one free consultation. A lot of people dealing with those high mortgage rates, credit card rates. Mortgage rates, the Fed hasn't dropped them, so they're still pretty stubbornly high, and your paycheck's being eaten alive by the Biden inflation we're talking about. Go to donewithdebt.com and check them out. But remember, title sponsor, the wellness company, twc.health/wake up, the medical emergency kit. They've got the COVID kit. And more importantly, they've got some great doctors like Dr. Adar, who we've had many times before. Doctor, welcome back.
Thank you. Good morning. Thanks for having me back.
So great to have you. I want to go through and talk a little bit about Anthony Fauci's upcoming testimony in June to Congress. Maybe he'll finally face some public accountability. But I was telling everybody that last week I sort of went under the cover and didn't tell Peter Galuli at the Wellness Company and ordered a bunch of supplements. I take the spike support every day to flush out the spike proteins. We could talk about that. But I wanted to kind of see what the viewer... There you are. You have it right there. So
Yeah.
walk me through if and I'll take the spike support while you answer. But I actually, I was taking a multivitamin, one of those silver ones, and I thought, you know what, the Wellness Company has these gummies, which I like better. So they call this the Mega Multivitamin Gummy, berry flavor. And I like it because I hate the taste of a lot of those multivitamins. And I've talked to your colleagues at the Wellness Company who say that a lot of the ones that are very generic that you get at CVS or Walgreens are not really that good. So tell us, walk us through some of these. I'll show you each one that I purchased myself. I went to twc.health/wake up, got the discount, but didn't tell anybody about it. I paid for it. This is the multivitamin gummy. Talk about that.
Oh my goodness. I haven't even looked at the multivitamin gummy, but I can bring it up.
There it is.
But you're right. Never get supplements at CVS or Walgreens because you do not know what they're putting in the actual vitamin. What on the label is not the same as in what's in the actual vitamin. And you're getting a lot of synthetic stuff. But the Wellness Company is definitely high quality and we test it. And so the quality of the supplements are excellent. So you have nothing to worry about.
I got the spike support. Yeah.
Yes, I love the spike. I take it every morning. I take 2. I'm not jabbed, and I still take it to protect myself from shedding effects. And also because nattokinase is such a great formula, such a great ingredient to help dissolve spike protein. And if so many people around us are jabbed, they are shedding on us. We definitely want to protect ourselves. And plus, it has so many other antioxidants and immune support supplements, so ingredients. So it's such a great synergistic one. So which one were you looking at? Let me bring it up really quick.
Yeah, bring that one up if you want. And then I'm going to take, I also bought the some vitamin D, which you and a lot of the other doctors like Dr. James Thorpe have been talking about the simplicity of vitamin D and how important that is to make sure you're getting enough of that.
D3K2 is extremely important, and why it's important to take at least 5,000 IU of vitamin D every day is you want to strengthen your immune system naturally to be able to fight any kind of ailments, any kind of viruses, any kind of pandemics coming ahead, as we know that they're planning already. And to be able to fight any immune malfunctions and also protect from, God forbid, cancers, protect from, give you stronger bones. Vitamin D is one of the most crucial and important supplements to take, most importantly.
And I've got vitamin C as well. Pardon me. I bought I went back to basics. I got the multivitamin gummy. I got the vitamin D3 that you just mentioned. And that is a normal pill you swallow. And then there's the chewable vitamin C, which to me was going back to basics as well. And just getting some vitamin C in the system.
Vitamin C is another very important supplement, and we know that it protects our immune system as well. It's also great for your adrenals, because if you are suffering from fatigue and adrenal fatigue, vitamin C is one of the best ways to help it. It's also beautifying and great for skin health, right? And it's just an important vitamin overall. I love vitamin C, and I take liposomal myself every day. And if you wanted to go over the multivitamin, as I'm looking at it right now also, so it's the vitamin A, which is also important for eye health and immune support as well, vitamin C, and then it has, of course, the D, E, and K, which you definitely want to have. and the thiamine, so B vitamins, a bunch of B vitamins, and a ginger root, which is also great for your immune system. So it's a cute one, cute, and I'm saying cute because it's great for people who don't like to swallow pills, and it's
Yeah,
easier to chew, right? So some people just hate taking pills.
I love it.
And the B vitamins, when you go to the general store and you get those multivitamins from, like I said, CVS, or the vitamins you do not want to take,
Yeah,
a lot of their B are so synthetic and not great quality, and that's why it makes it so nasty tasting, right? So that's why I actually don't mind. I like this chewable gummies from the wellness company, because you probably won't taste the taste of the bee. You probably taste the ginger. And what else is in there? Yeah, probably better tasting than any other
there you go. Um,
multi.
so tell me about one more, not to quiz you, but
Go
one of
ahead.
our viewers, George Colella, told me about this. I didn't know it existed, and this is what led me there. That the wellness company's rolled out this new product, blood sugar balance.
Oh,
And
I'll tell you what.
tell me about it, because a lot of people are
This is
talking
my
about Ozempic
favorite.
and all these other things. And this is a natural supplement. Maybe it's not the same as Ozempic as a weight loss, but a lot of people wondering about their blood sugar. So please go ahead.
I love the blood sugar balance because it has chromium and it has berberine, which is great to fight for, blood sugar irregulation. So it actually helps regulate, your blood sugar. It also
Mhm.
has cinnamon, which is another great way to regulate your blood sugar. And also the berberine is great anti-inflammatory overall. So you're getting berberine, you're getting chromium, which also helps your blood sugar. Um, Basically, it doesn't fluctuate,
Hmm.
right? Because when you have blood sugar fluctuations, that's when you get the hunger, that's when you get the low blood sugar shaking and feeling unwell. So it also has quercetin. Wow, I can't see, bitter melon, alpha lipoic acid, like I said, berberine, turmeric, which is a best anti-inflammatory supplement as well.
Hmm.
Which you also want to take that along with this. If you have the spike support but you don't have the spike trio, the trio will have the turmeric in addition to bromelain. So if you only bought that and you also have the blood sugar, then you're already doing the turmeric in here along with this. You're really helping your body fight inflammation post jabs or post ailment, COVID illness, but also help again support your spike protein in your body or dissolve it, but also lower blood sugars, lower inflammation overall. I take it every time I eat. I actually take it twice a day, I should say. But if I eat a high carb or
Mm.
fruit, I take that and it doesn't spike my blood sugar. It doesn't swell me up like sometimes sugar will
Ah,
do that. And this fights it like that. So it's great.
okay. So you do it twice a day. All
I
right.
do
Yeah,
personally do. Yeah.
that's great. All right. Let's
Yeah.
broaden the conversation. I mentioned about Tony Fauci and whether he'll be held accountable in June. June's going to be a big month. We've got maybe the first presidential debate, if that actually happens, scheduled. You've got the Supreme Court scheduled to maybe rule on presidential immunity from prosecution for official actions in office. You have maybe a VP pick coming from President Trump as soon as June or maybe July in the convention. It's going to be a hot summer, and a
Yes.
hot summer for Fauci going up to the Hill. And I want to preface that by putting up what your colleague Peter McCullough posted 20 minutes ago, talking about censorship, because it'll lead me to Fauci in a minute. And he said, just had one of his speeches, huge number of views, likes, reposts on LinkedIn before it was vaporized. Reverse transcription of mRNA, inserting the foreign code into our human DNA has been one of the greatest fears during the mass indiscriminate vaccination campaign. He names Pfizer and Moderna. And he basically, as you know, has been calling out the pharmaceutical companies and others, and is pointing out that, whether it's Meta or LinkedIn now as well, you post something and it gets vaporized. You can't speak the truth. Tony Fauci went out and lied, got away with it for a long time. What's been your experience as a doctor trying to speak truth to power in living in this kind of big tech censorship climate where they don't want to hear the truth?
Yeah, I've been shadow banned and censored and deleted. And I just 2 days ago, actually this weekend, I posted something and I said something, and they immediately deleted my comment and said, "You are banned from posting reels or videos because of your comments." I'm speaking the truth. I'm not saying anything that nobody already knows or that's wrong, right? So yeah, Dr. Fauci has lied along with EcoHealth president, Dr. Daszak. I cannot say his name right.
That's all
Um,
right.
and Peter, I think Peter Daszak, am I saying it right? And they've been lying nonstop about the origin of, the COVID virus in the Wuhan labs, and along with the NIH funding and taxpayers funding, they created it and it's man-made, and we know that they're doing it again, of course, with avian flu, H5N1, influenza, bird flu. So they've lied before, they're doing it again. We're censored then, and we're still censored. Hopefully less on Twitter, but social media regularly, we're still censored. And it's a shame that we cannot speak the truth and share the truth while they're just constantly lying and they're not being held accountable. That's just not okay.
On that question, I saved this from last week, I guess it was. New York Post, the words you just used, lies, sick
Yep.
lies.
Yep.
It's got Fauci's picture. It wasn't about his testimony yet. Again, that's coming in June. But they were referring to the fact, and I want to get your reaction. This is why I saved this here in the studio. Health official, this was an NIH official, as you know, admitted under oath before James Comer's committee, I think, in Congress, that the U.S. funded dangerous virus research at China's COVID lab, the gain of function research. And they say sick lies because Fauci and the other folks at NIH and other agencies, how else do you say it? They lied and said that this was a fantasy. This was a conspiracy theory that you and Dr. McCall and others at the Wellness Company were pushing. And now, under oath, which is why I'm really interested to see what Fauci, he's been able to just go into TV studios and spew lies, and you're not really held accountable. You go before Congress, you raise your right hand. We saw the tobacco companies infamously years ago finally be called on the carpet. Hunter Biden's got to go behind closed doors. He's been running and hiding. Now they say today he lied at least 3 times in the deposition. We'll give him a fair chance. He'll be able to explain his testimony just like any other government witness. But now Fauci's going to have to raise his right hand in a couple of weeks. The last official from NIH that had to do that said, yes, under oath, we did fund this research that we told you for years we did not fund. And yet, this is like a week ago, and like nobody in the mainstream media is saying, well, wait a second, we were lied to, and then we lied to the American people. And to your words you used a moment ago, there's like no accountability. Talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, why are they not being held accountable? Why are they not in jail? They should have been in jail a long time ago because they've cost so many lives, right? Worldwide, not just American lives. I mean, they lied. They knew about the dangers. They knew about myocarditis. They knew about blood clots. They knew about cancers. They knew about all these side effects that those vaccines had, and they still brought them to market. They knew about the origin of the virus that they themselves created as gain of function research in the labs, in the biolabs, and they still did it, and they still manipulate it. And today they are still manipulating those avian flu viruses to make it more contagious in labs as gain of function research. They still don't stop. When will they actually stop? When will they be held accountable? People are speaking up. Even the former CDC Redfield said that they knew about, the side effects. They knew about the origin. They knew about everything, and they still continue to produce those vaccines and continue to create those gain of function research. He admitted it himself. Why are they still doing it? And then he goes, in addition, to say, if we really want to make avian flu contagious between human to human or animal to human, we can make it more contagious in the lab as gain of function research. They admit it. Why isn't anyone stopping them? Obviously, we know it's money, and we know they're trying to control population. We know their agendas. This is definitely not a clean thing that they're doing. I just wish they were held accountable.
Completely agree with you. I want to put this up before we go. New York Post had the story a few days ago. New Jersey gym owner Ian Smith, you've seen him before. He defied the COVID shutdowns for his gym in New Jersey, in Belmore, years ago at the height of COVID. And he went through the legal battle. Most people would have settled by now and had to admit something and just say, let's move on. And he just kept fighting it. It reminds me of you and others at the Wellness Company who don't give up. And he's now been cleared of all charges after this legal battle, years long. And he just kept fighting and saying, "Look, I'm a small business owner. I'm entitled to open up the gym so people can be healthy." And he won. Does that give you hope for the future that what the wellness company's doing, what Ian did, and you stand and you fight, and maybe in the end you're going to win?
You fight for the truth. You never should give up for what you believe in. What you're doing is right, and it's not harming anyone. On the contrary, right? So never stop fighting, for sure. Definitely gives us hope, and I hope that we won't stop fighting. I know at the wellness company, we're not stopping to fight. We're here to fight. We're here to stand for what's right for humanity and health, and not what we're told that are lies, but we're here to spread the truth and to take care of humans and in the best way. And so we're not giving up. And I'm glad that this person didn't give up either. And I'm glad he won. And anyone who had those losses should still fight and not give up, because they should win. And I hope.
And let the truth prevail, as you said.
Exactly. Exactly.
Dr. Adar, we appreciate you. Whenever you come on, twc.health/wake up. Get the discount, support the show. We'll see you soon. Have a great Memorial Day weekend.
You too. Thank you, Ed.
All right, let's check in. My friend Sean Feeney. We tried to talk to you the other day. How you doing, my man?
How you doing? Second time's the charm. Can you hear me okay?
I hear you great. See, there you
Oh,
go.
perfect.
He's written a wonderful new book. We met years ago, and he said he was working on this book, and I think he said that he had seen my book about Jackie Robinson. You can see up there, 42 Faith. It's called The Flower Story. It's mostly about, from what I've started reading, his relationship with his daughter, and reading to her. It's a beautifully illustrated and written book. What's the story behind The Flower Story?
Oh, it's kind of a funny little story, elongated. I'll shorten it up a little bit. So my daughter, first of all, the book is about the unconditional love that a father has for his daughter, as told through the epic growth of a flower he gives her. How it came to be, essentially, I was rocking her to sleep at 2 years old. And she was apparently tired of the story that I was reading. I think it was called The Stuck Truck at the time. A fun little book. But she said, I wanted another story, in her 2-year-old voice, of course. So I had to go digging in the pocket next to me, trying to find her. And she's like, no, I want a story. And I said, I'm trying to find you a story, honey. And she said, no, I want a story. And I said, whoa, you want it from me? And she says, yes. And so I really was put on the spot there. And, I consider myself to have a little bit of a creative gene. So I wanted to, really impress her, as any father does. And luckily for me, across the room of her bedroom, there was a growth chart, a flower growth chart. And
wow.
I was able to draw inspiration from that growth chart and tell her this story, this bedtime story, from beginning to end. And honestly, it was the only story that she ever wanted from that point on. So, probably a lot in her development, because essentially, again, it's about conveying your unconditional love to your kids, in this case, my daughter.
And how has that worked out for you? How old is she now? And tell people about your daughter.
Yeah, no. So her name is Kayla, and she goes to UNR, cool. And she's doing fantastic. So straight A's, very confident. She tells me some stories that are, she's having the, what does she say? She's living her best life up there. So doing very well.
And you've got some beautiful pictures with her, and there's a QR code in the back of the book that explains the mission. And what's great is that you can give it to your daughter, and at the end it has a letter from Dad, where you can sort of give your thoughts, and they'll sort of have this on their bookshelf, on their coffee table forever. What's the legacy you want to leave for your daughter?
Yeah, no, absolutely. You mentioned that part in the back always gets, people love that. So, the book is all full page spreads, very, very, professionally done. And at the end, as you mentioned, there's a little spot where fathers can personalize it for them and their daughter. And that really kind of brings everything home, because as you mentioned, it now turns from a typical bedtime story with a great message to something that is more personalized and ultimately, hopefully, can become sort of an heirloom for people. Just kind of package it up and put it in that hope chest. And you mentioned the QR code. The story I told about where the flower story came to be is in there, as well as the mission. The mission of the book is to really to sort of help other fathers be able to easily convey that same message to their daughters on a routine basis, while they're young. I think it's very important. I don't think that we can, overstate or we should be telling our kids as much as we often can, how much we love them. I think it's a big thing, with their upbringing. So my goal is to get this book out to as many fathers in the world. I truly believe I'm not. This is not hyperbole on my part. A bit Pollyannish maybe, but I truly believe this book has the ability to ever so slightly change the world. Right.
I love that.
Because I really believe that theoretically, if this book got into every father's hands and they were conveying that message routinely, it would change the world. So. That's my goal for the book, and so far it's being very, very well received.
That's absolutely terrific. It's called The Flower Story. You can find it on Amazon and BarnesandNoble.com. I'm sure anywhere you like to buy your books. I'm going to put it up there. It is on Amazon right now. It's doing well already. I hope a lot of Patriots. There's only 16 left in the current printing, left in stock. So you better go on there right now. It'd be a wonderful gift for a graduate or certainly around Father's Day, which is coming up. Get it for another dad. Get it for a grandpa. Sean Feeney, we've been friends for, I guess, about 6 years now, keeping in touch. Proud of you finishing this book. Congratulations. And we'll definitely have you back. Have a great weekend.
Oh, thank you so much. I just wanted to say just a quick thank you. You were very, very inspirational to me, and, showing that your interest in the book from an early stage, somebody of your caliber showing somebody of my caliber that sort of interest in the beginning was absolutely crucial for me. So
Well,
your belief in me
when
really
you
meant
came
a
up
lot,
to
and
me,
I thank you for that.
I appreciate it. Well, I appreciate it. I didn't mean to step, but I don't want to just to take accolades. It just, we ran into each other, got to know each other, and I think I had just written my Jackie Robinson book roughly around then. It had done
Yep.
well, and you said, "How do you do it?" And look, what I felt like I should pay it forward is that it took me a few years to write the Jackie Robinson book, and I could tell you were kind of going through the same angst. You have this idea, it's hard to execute it, and nobody really gives you a guide, right? Because it's hard to write a book. Like, everyone reads books, and you're like, wow, I think I have a book in me. And then when you got to sit down and start writing 300 pages, you're like, how the heck do I do this? And it was literally that kind of thing. It was like, well, I didn't really have very many people who stopped and really listened to what I was trying to do, and I kind of figured it out on my own with a little bit of guidance here and there from others. And I thought, yeah, like, keep going, man. And so we kept in touch, and you were writing it, and I'm just honored to play a small role in it because you're the one who did the hard work, and I'm glad for you and your family because I think you have a son as well. So congratulations.
Yes, thank you very much. Thanks for having me on. I really do appreciate it.
All right, go to Amazon right now. Let's support this patriot. Sean Feeney, congrats on the book. We really appreciate you. Take care.
Thank you so much.
All right, so Sean, there he is. Take off tomorrow. Hope everyone has a great Memorial Day weekend. Maybe we'll pop up Monday for a little special and give you an idea of the future, because Wake Up Patriots Now, new website, wearemailman.com, streaming on YouTube as well. There's going to be a lot of fun things with Tony Schaefer and some other surprises and other hosts popping in this summer as I jump into some other projects. But I'll still be here. I'll be in the live chat. Looking forward to seeing you. Like I said, maybe we'll do a little pop-up on Monday, even though it's a holiday, because I'll be filling in 8 p.m. Eastern Newsmax Cable Monday night on Memorial Day. So I'll be a little busy that day, but I look forward to seeing all of you. Thanks for being there today. Enjoy this weekend with your family. And maybe we'll pop up Monday, Tuesday. Just stay tuned. We'll send out some alerts.